Hello, people of the world watching new vehicle reviews on the internet. Welcome to this, the 2025 Toyota Sequoia 1794 edition with the TRD off-road package, which I guess is a new combo for this year. So today, we're gonna get it up in the air, nerd out in the tech specs, see how it's constructed, and then go put it to the test off-road. First up, why did they put the sticker to show you how to use the liftgate with a QR code on the outside of the bumper cover? And also the gloss black finish over a texturized plastic, that's not a, no. They either need to sand it first or use satin black so you don't see the texture. The cover is removable where you'd hook up your receiver to tow a little over 9,000 pounds. We do have a stainless single canister style muffler and a Steely for a spare, although this is an 18 and it's wrapped in a Michelin instead. The lower rocker behind the back wheel is all plastic, so you don't have to worry if you live in a snowy climate about that rusting out. Lots of seam sealer, which helps for corrosion as well, and the frame is fully painted all the way around, in and out. Out back, the Sequoia utilizes a multi-link with solid rear axle, rear suspension configuration. Within the pumpkin, the solid rear axle is an auto limited slip differential with a 3.31 final drive ratio. The rear anti-sway bar, which is mounted to the front of the axle, measures in approximately big, a little over 26.5mm diameter, and it's paired with a set of Bilstein red body twin tube rear shocks. The third generation Toyota Sequoia chassis code XK85 is built on Toyota's TNGA F platform, and this 1794 TRD off-road hybrid max weighs in at 6,150 pounds. Tucked away into the abyss, which you cannot see, the Hybrid Max system utilizes a nickel-metal Haldry 288-volt, 240-cell, 1.87 kilowatt-hour battery pack. Plastic, I thought that was steel. Skid plate under the fuel tank, that is an enormous drive shaft, holy shit. Manufactured by Dana Speicher, no less. Steel front drive shaft, also made by Dana Speicher in Canada. Whoa, that's crazy, someone's fingerprints are burnt into the muffler right here when they manufactured it, that's funny. Before the Y, each pipe measures in at about 54mm in diameter. Post Y, we're looking at, geez, almost 82mm in diameter, which is about 3¼ inch. Paired to a Borg-Warner 2-speed transfer case with a 2.640 to 1 low range ratio. The rear transmission crossmember is removable for maintenance. As far as the transmission goes, it comes standard with the Aijin AWR 10L65 10-speed automatic with a maximum torque input rating of 650 newton meters, which is oddly 479 pound-feet, the exact number of torque output the engine itself produces without the assistance of the hybrid motor. Because this has the Hybrid Max system, sandwiched in between the engine and transmission is a permanent magnet synchronous electric motor dubbed 1TM, which produces 36 kilowatts or 48 horsepower, 250 newton meters or 184 pound-feet, in addition to the internal combustion engine, which we'll get to in a little bit. I mean, ease of maintenance, it's a little tight up inside there. Like you see the turbo hanging off the side of the engine. Up front, the Sequoia utilizes a double wishbone suspension configuration, both which are steel. Front anti-sway bar, that's a beefy end link, measures in at approximately 41mm in diameter. And because TRD off-road, it's got these red painted upgraded front axles. And again, behind them, it's paired with another set of monotube red body Bilstein coilover front dampers. Looks like doing an AC condenser or possibly even the radiator might be pretty easy on this thing. Just drop it out the front. When regulations get in the way of common sense, you got this plastic aero shield for fuel efficiency, which defeats the purpose of this nice TRD aluminum skid plate. Remove this thing if you're gonna do any off-roading. It's time for the braking test. No one behind me. Ready, set, go. Weird. That was very cheese gratery. Really good stopping distance. Great braking. That braking was just made possible thanks to a 4-piston front caliper with a 353mm or a 13.9-inch front rotor. The wheels, they are a 20 by 8.5 with a positive 55mm offset Ronal, which is a German wheel company, although these ones are made in Mexico, wrapped in a set of two 65/60 20-inch Falcon Wild Peak all-terrain tires. Front inner fender liners, really thick hairy cardboard. It's almost like carpet. These front vents are functional aero, as well as the one under the headlight too. Interesting, wonder where that goes. LED fog lights, more of that piano black texturized trim. You can see it just behind the front grille here. There are dual side-mounted heat exchangers. TRD powder-coated steel running boards that honestly, I wouldn't call it a rock rail, but it would offer a little bit of protection from the pinch weld. And I can't say it impacts your breakover angle because the fuel tank hangs down lower than this does. Very typical of Toyota, put that thick texturized chip guard underneath the paint right here in the lower rocker areas. More hairy cardboard inner fender liners out back. However, just behind the tire is an incorporated plastic splash guard where it matters. Out back, you go down to a single piston caliper with a 345mm or a 13.6-inch rotor. The wheel and tire, same size as you have up front. In the name of science, it is now time to give it the beans. But first, a bolstering assessment. Nope. This one's finished in a caramel-like leather with cream stitch in a contrasting taupe-colored leather, which carries over onto the dash as well as the door cards. The seats are both heated as well as ventilated, as well as programmable memory. And best of all, they are massaging. Tap a seat. Centripetal. Will I get stung? And it has a heated steering wheel as well as a feature to engage sugar gliders that drop off road cones behind parked cars. As far as on-road drive modes go, I have a dial in the center here. I can rotate and go from eco to normal to sport. Also have a tow haul mode, and then I also have off-road modes, but I'll get to those later. I can press this to defeat traction control and slide the TRD shift lever down into drive and then pop it to the left for sport mode where you can use it sequentially. So let's see what this thing can do. Ready? Go. It gets out of the hole quick. Didn't even hesitate. That's already good. This thing is a rocket. Absolute, don't let the size of this thing fool you. This thing is a rocket. Hood pop. Hood struts. Can't tell if the hood's heavy or not because hydraulic strut's doing a good job. Can I remove this? I can. Underneath the hood of the 2025 Toyota Sequoia is the V35 Alpha-FTS, which is a 3.4-liter, 4-cam, all-aluminum, twin-turbocharged 60-degree V6 that on its own produces 389 horsepower and 479 pound-feet of torque. But this does have the Hybrid Max parallel hybrid system. So in conjunction with that electric motor, it has a total combined system output of 437 horsepower at 5,200 RPM and 583 pound-feet of torque at 2,400 RPM. Being that it is a 60-degree V6, both of the cylinder heads are right up top here, which makes it a lot easier for maintenance, and they don't really go that far back under the wiper cowl. Dual air boxes, one on either side because two turbos. Digging in a little bit deeper on this 3,445cc V6, it is undersquared at an 85.5 by 100 millimeter bore and stroke with a 10.4:1 compression ratio. This does employ Toyota's dual variable valve timing VVT-I for the exhaust cams and VVT-IE for the intake cams, hydraulic versus electronically controlled. And it has Toyota's D4ST, both port and direct fuel injection system. If you notice on the top of the engine right here, it has a water-to-air charge cooler for the twin turbos. It's actually pretty small with plastic end tanks. You can see it does have plastic charge pipes right here in the front. Viewing from the passenger side of the engine bay, the turbos are stuffed down there on the side of the engine. They're bolted directly to the head. The exhaust manifold is incorporated into it. It's got an electronic brake booster. Easy to access the inverter for the hybrid system right here in the engine bay. You got dual coolant expansion chambers. It's separated right here in the center, the left for the water-to-air charge cooler and the right for the engine itself. It is now time for Rally Special Stage 2.0. I want to use my off-road modes, so I have my multi-terrain select button down here. Gotta put this thing into 4 high. To select 4 high, you gotta press it down and slide it back. As far as off-road modes go, I have the multi-terrain select feature. You can press that, where I can go from auto mode to dirt, sand, mud, and deep snow. Rock it back and forth, get it into 4 high. I'm gonna keep it in auto, and I will defeat traction control, and I am gonna use sport mode on the transmission also. So let's see what this thing can do. Ready? Go. Wow, I was not expecting that for a launch. Jeez, that was even better than on asphalt. Smooth so far. These tires are great already off the bat. Lots of grip. I don't want to yeet it over these bumps, they're pretty harsh. I do have my camera gear back there, you may hear it bouncing around. The suspension's actually surprisingly soft. A lot softer than I thought it would be. These red bodies are doing a pretty good job. This is not the TRD Pro, so I did review that one and it was impressive, but I'm not really seeing a massive difference between the TRD Pro and just the TRD Off-Road in terms of the Rally Special stage. This is still really capable. Super soft. Even on 20-inch wheels, it's just soaking up these bumps. Definitely feel it's heavy though. Have to brake a little bit early. Nimble. Super nimble. No understeer. It's actually nice and balanced. Oversteer right there. It's super balanced. The stability control just got a little angry right there. It was limiting my throttle input. Good, good. I don't normally like fake sounds, and especially because this is a twin turbo V6. I feel like the fake sounds are trying to make it sound like a V8, but I would just be nitpicking if I said it sounded bad. It doesn't sound bad. Big bump, soaked it up nice. God, this thing is, Sequoia is a gem when it comes to off-roading. They're just so expensive, you would feel bad really abusing one of these things off-road. You can't even really get one cheap either. The price they start at doesn't really make it a viable option for severe off-roading unless you're super wealthy. Stability control, a little bit angry again. There we go. That was a quick lap. I feel like, especially when the lap looks slow, it's quicker than it makes sense. Sometimes my vocabulary is limited. I need to read more books. There's some other people out here off-roading today. This is fun. They're gonna get to watch. I am going to do the crossover hill climb that's usually for lesser capable off-road vehicles, because this is equipped with the chastity belt option on the front bumper, which drastically limits your approach angle. I'm pretty sure Toyota put that on there because they know anyone that's gonna go off-roading is gonna remove it, but I can't modify press vehicles, even though it's barely a modification. Select 4 low, put it in neutral, and then in 4 low, you have auto, sand, mud, and rock. I'm gonna try to take the most challenging line just to give it some form of a challenge. And go real slow. Yeah, there you go, challenged it a little bit. Not really. Now breakover is gonna be a possible issue because these running boards. Nope, we're good. I think if you wanted to get one of these as a dedicated off-road rig and you don't want to buy the TRD Pro, the best way to go is the SR5 4x4 and just add the TRD off-road package. The downside is though, it's standard with the Hybrid Max drivetrain. It would be nice if you could do without that, like you can in the Tundra, and save even more money. It would bring the price of the Sequoia down. All right, going back down, I'm gonna use my trail cam. Can also use my downhill assist and then use the dial to set the speed that I want. Robots go. Super quiet, actually. Oh, there we go. Made some noise. Smooth. Yeah, I'm not even scratching the surface of the limits of this thing. You could make a proper off-road rig out of one of these Sequoias. Open. Oh, I gotta have the key to do that. Hey, there's a button. Oh yeah, that's right. I forgot the window lifts up on these. That's sweet. And there's a little shelf so you can put things. Open. Yeah. A little shelf right here to hide things, a net to put fruit in. Robo-fold. Fold the third row down. Oh, wrong way. The motor sounds very robotic. Is it AC power inverter? Oh, the speaker. This is the backseat of a Toyota Tree, and I have upper middle class shades. The rear seats are heated as well as ventilated, and I have my own climate control menu. AC power inverter, USB-C, USB-A, miles of legroom, vent, LED light. Nice materials on the door cards. The headrest looks like a backwards Lego person's motorcycle helmet. I have a little cubby in the center of the first aid kit and some cup holders. A little rubber snack tray. I'm sure these recline. I would expect so for the price. Oh yeah. Fancy seat backs. As far as the back goes, you can't see me. Now you can. Whoa, I got my own little upper middle class shades in the back too. That doesn't really look like the Sequoia. It looks like our earlier 2000s Land Cruiser almost. Pretty tight back here. My own vent back here. LED light. Ah, well that's nice. It's actually not bad when you recline the seat, and if I flip this one the fuck out of the way, then I'd have plenty of legroom. 1, 2, 3, 4 cup holders for 2.5 seats. It does have an electronic parking brake. Trailer brake controller. Wireless charge cubby. Yeah, that's real wood. Cup holders. Dash has got the 1794 logo on it, and wood grain makes you hungry for some barbecue. Oddly enough, this one has TRD Pro Sequoia floor mats. The JBL sound system in this thing, nice and loud, crisp and clear, and the acoustics, because of the shape of the vehicle, carry the bass fairly well. The infotainment system, typical Toyota, very kind of bland menu system. It's idiot proof. There's nothing crazy to it, no secret menus or features that wow you. This one's got a huge panoramic sunroof. Center console, it's got a little lid where you can store some cards. You can open the whole thing up. That's a big storage cubby. Little divider. Because this is YouTube and it is on the internet and there's comment sections, I know the number one thing that's gonna come up on this vehicle is the massive recall that occurred with the Toyota V35 Alpha. And that is something worth talking about. I mean, there was a massive amount of engines that were recalled because of that. Oh, the parking sensor is gonna drive me bananas. Turn that off. Would that stop me personally from buying a vehicle that has that engine in it? What the hell, I turned you off, you That feature right there will prevent me from buying this vehicle. And I will say, from my perspective of someone that's not looking to buy a new vehicle anytime soon, that does like Toyotas, but I'm not brand loyal to any brand by any means. I would say now that it is so well documented and has been addressed by so many media outlets and the word has gotten out there, Toyota is obviously aware of the issue and is working to fix it. It wouldn't deter me now from buying a vehicle that drives off the edge of a cliff. Also, fuel efficiency. I've been averaging about 16.5 miles per gallon since I've had this. It's a hybrid. To be fair though, if it still did have a V8 that could produce over 400 horsepower and almost 600 pound-feet of torque, it would probably average 8 miles per gallon. So it is getting good fuel efficiency for the power level. If you compare the price of this versus a full-size Land Cruiser from a couple decades ago, the price makes sense for what the type of vehicle is. However, it's just a lot of money. It is now time to give this Sequoia some scores, starting with the bean score, the assessment of the feeling you get in your gut when you give it the beans. And it earns a rating of, followed by the cookie score, the assessment of value, and this fairly well-loaded 1794 edition at a little over $80,000 gets a rating of That's like Lexus money. Well, then again, this is essentially the new big body Land Cruiser since we don't have one anymore. So I guess it makes sense in that aspect. Followed by the wrench score, the assessment of ease of maintenance, and earns a rating of. Next is the meatball score, the assessment of off-road capabilities, and this Sequoia 1794 TRD off-road gets a rating of. And lastly is the penguin score, the assessment on how much I personally like a vehicle, and this Sequoia, as it is equipped, gets a rating of. I especially like the looks of this generation Sequoia. I think it's the best looking gen. I do miss the V8, but if I was going to get one of these, I'd just go for an SR5 4x4 and upgrade the stuff I want to myself, because base model brunette. Mostly brunette. Anyway, I'll see you guys soon with another review. Bye!